Welcome, everybody, back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. So the 49ers just came off of a massive win against the Bengals. When you look at the playoff race, this was an absolute huge one to win. I did not expect them to win this game, just being shorthanded at corner and then also not having Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel being limited. Now, we still got to see a big play from him, but he was definitely limited today. And then you look at, who really made it work today for the Niners, and it was George Kittle. He was an absolute monster. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Nick Bosa, insane. Tons of pressures in the backfield always. Great sacks on third down. The one at the end of the game, it saved the game. We saw the way that the 49ers secondary was playing, mainly Ambry Thomas. He was really struggling in this one, and I think that was expected. And whenever you have a matchup against Jamar Chase, that's a really big one. But defensively, Nick Bosa held it down for the 49ers. And then on offense for the Niners, oh my God, George Kittle was a machine. 13 catches, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Multiple huge catches. He had the one that got him in the field goal range. Robbie Gould misses the field goal. Luckily, the 49ers were able to survive. Jimmy Garoppolo almost threw a pick six on that last drive. That was a crazy one as well. But when you look at this game, I think you really got to give credit to two guys in this one, George Kittle, Nick Bosa. They were unbelievable. It was also nice offensively to look at Brandon Ayuk. I think when you look at this game, you could tell like they were playing the game a lot safer. Especially because I believe his name is Darius Phillips of the Bengals, comes out and muffs the punts early. The Niners get the ball. They play it like pretty passive, I would say. But I agree with that. I mean, you saw it late in the game. Jesse Bates almost picked off Jimmy Garoppolo. They were not running the ball a ton, but everything was around the line of scrimmage. We have seen they have the most success when they're able to do that, able to kind of suffocate the other team. They weren't able to do that in this one, though, because their offense just was not ticking. It was a bad offensive day. However, they're able to get the win. Got to give a ton of credit for George Kittle because they do not win this game without him. Same goes for Nick Bosa. But overall, offensively, a lot of pressure. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo was terrible. I also don't think he had an amazing game, but there was pressure in his face constantly. We saw a couple on the right side of the line. Alex Mack, I think, gave up a big pressure, but mostly coming from Tom Compton's side. Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals did get a sack early, and then he did end up missing I think it was the whole second half. I think he went down in the second quarter, I want to say. That was a huge blow to them, but the Niners are able to survive this one. This was a thrilling game. If you didn't get to watch it, big bummer. But it was definitely an ugly one as well. I mean, I feel like that as Niner fans, I don't know, let me know what you guys were feeling about this one, but I wasn't like, it was pretty ugly to win, but it was just like, come on, you got to win this game. In all of these games where it's been coin flips this year, it feels like they've struggled a lot to win these ones. You look at the Packers game, you look at the Colts game, like they're hanging around, they get kind of blown out late. The Cardinals game when Trey Lance started, like a lot of games where they're in it and then they just end up losing a close one. This one, they're able to survive. Their offense was not able to do much, but they were gifted a couple turnovers, able to hang on to the game enough. Big play from Deebo Samuel, big play from George Kittle, big play from Brandon Ayuk. Those are the guys that need to really dominate in this offense if they're going to be successful. And so when you have a game like this where you're not able to run the football as much and as effectively, Jeff Wilson, I think he had 13 carries. Not terrible game by him. Like he had a pretty solid game. At the end, he had a couple runs that carved up the Bengals defense, but it wasn't super effective early on. And the short passes were, so I was happy that they stuck with that. Played a little passive. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating to watch. You got to make some of those throws, though. There were some throws late in the game that Jimmy did miss. And then, of course, Robbie Gould has to execute that field goal, but offense wasn't really working, but they didn't beat themselves, which is huge. They almost did. We had the Jennings fumble. Now, he had a pretty solid game if you take that play away, but that was terrifying as a 49ers fan. And then defensively, Ambry Thomas, I think, was the guy that really got picked on the most in this one. K'Wan Williams, though, great game. He almost had a pick late in the game, and then he also had a sack on another sack on third down. Arden Key, Samson Ebukam came up with this. They each got half a sack for another third down. A lot of really timely sacks for this defense. And they were playing more of a bend don't break style, and it worked in this one. The stop late in the game in overtime, I felt like all of the momentum was gone. When you give up the huge touchdown to Jamar Chase, then you're not able to get that field goal at the end. Very, very demoralizing spot. And then the Bengals was the big play to Higgins, and then they had another big play right after that, I think to the tight end. And you look at this one, it's like, oh, they're going to lose this one. 3rd and 3. Who comes up with the big sack? Nick Bosa. Got to give that dude a ton of credit. I don't know if he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt is putting up an insane season, but he definitely deserves to be at least like talked about and mentioned in that conversation because he has been amazing. And early in the year, I think he started out pretty good, but this last, I don't know how many games, it's been maybe 8 games. This stretch has been incredible. He's the guy that's been getting double teamed a lot. All you 49er fans know, including myself, he gets held. It feels like more than any pass rusher I've seen. And for what reason, but it doesn't matter in a lot of these situations. If he gets a one-on-one situation, even if he gets double teamed on third down, in some of these moments he has stepped up and he has been huge down the stretch for this team. So, there's a reason he was the second overall pick. He has absolutely played like that. Dude has been incredible. So, you just gotta tip your hat to a guy like Nick Bosa and a guy like George Kittle today. Stellar performances. You don't win this game without those two guys. Was it an ugly game? Yes. Were you able to survive the Jamar Chase on Ambry Thomas? Somehow, yes. I didn't think that they're going to be able to. Got a little lucky, I think I'd say as well. But, your best players stepped up, and they were amazing today. So you got to love that as well. Got to start winning these games down the stretch, but this puts the Niners in a great spot. They're now in the 6th seed, have a game on everyone, and also own a couple tiebreakers, and have an opportunity to get a tiebreaker against the Falcons as well coming up. They own the tiebreaker on the Vikings, on the Eagles already, so they should be they're in the driver's seat, I'd say, especially with their schedule coming up. You have a game against, let's see, they have the Falcons coming up. They have the Texans, and then they also have the Titans, who are pretty depleted. So I think those 3 games, you should win those games. You should be favored by a good amount of points, and you need to go take care of business there. So hopefully we see that happening, but huge win, even though it was a really ugly one today. Amazing performances by both George Kittle and Nick Bosa. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, but really hyped up about this one. That was an amazing way to end it, also by Brandon Ayuk. So fantastic game. Very, very happy right now, even though it's kind of an ugly one. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and very, very happy that the 49ers were able to survive this game full of fumbles. It looked like they put oil on the ball to start the game. But love to come up with one of these ugly wins because it seems like every one of these they've lost. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.